Welcome to a chapter a day. Take a slow breath. Before you do anything else, feel this truth. You are here on purpose, not by accident, not by random chance, not as an afterthought in a chaotic universe. You are here because life is intelligent. You are here because consciousness is creative. You are here because love expands. And you, exactly as you are part of that expansion. There is something in you that has always known this. A quiet knowing, a gentle pull toward more, a sense that your life means something beyond routines, roles, and responsibilities. That feeling is real. You are not here to prove your worth. You are not here to struggle endlessly. You are not here to compete for significance. You are here to experience, to grow, to express, to contribute, to love, to create. The same force that grows forests, moves oceans, and ignites stars is moving your thoughts, your dreams, your curiosity. Your life becoming aware of itself. And over the next chapters, you are going to remember something powerful. Your desires are guidance. Your joy is intelligence. Your challenges are refinement. Your presence matters. You are not behind. You are not late. You are not lost. You are unfolding. And when you understand why you are alive, not from fear, but from possibility, everything changes. Let's begin that remembering now. Chapter 1. You are part of a brilliant design. Pause. Breathe in slowly. Feel that breath enter your lungs without effort. Feel your heart beating without instruction. Notice how life is happening perfectly before you even think about it. Life knows what it's doing, and you are life. This is not poetry. This is law. There is no chaos in the intelligence that grows galaxies and forests. There is no accident in the rhythm of oceans or the geometry of snowflakes. Everywhere you look, there is cooperation. There is balance. There is design expressing itself through form. A forest does not compete with itself. The soil nourishes the tree. The tree shelters the animals. The animals fertilize the soil. The rain falls without asking who deserves it. This is organized creativity. Life knows what it's doing, and you are life. When you stand in nature, something in you softens. Something remembers. You feel regulated. You feel grounded. You feel connected. That is not coincidence. That is resonance. The same intelligence moving through ecosystems is moving through your nervous system. Love is the greatest teacher because love unlocks key codes, triggers remembrances of the eternal self. And nature is one of love's purest classrooms. Look closely at how ecosystems function. Nothing is wasted. Nothing is excluded. Even decay becomes nourishment. What appears as an ending becomes fuel for another beginning. This is not random. This is orchestration. And you are not outside of that orchestration. You are never separate from the system. You are a living extension of it. Life knows what it's doing, and you are life. Now consider this. The probability of your existence is beyond comprehension. The precise meeting of two specific people. The survival of countless ancestors. The timing of your birth in this era, on this planet, in this body. The mathematics of it defy logic. Yet here you are. Not pressured. Not burdened. Just present. Your existence is extraordinary without demanding performance. You do not have to earn your place in the design. You already are the design. The original intention was for Source, who is pure unconditional love, to go out and experience versions of love. Every expression, every variation, every perspective. That includes you, your personality, your preferences, your curiosities, your way of laughing, your way of thinking. You are a version of love exploring itself. Everything that you desire to experience throughout our great universes is just an expression of love. The desire to build, to create, to travel, to connect, to learn, to contribute, these are not random urges. They are movements within the larger intelligence. And here is where humans often make it complicated. You get stuck in the mind. What should I do? What's coming next? Where should I go? Who will be there? What if I choose wrong? The mind seeks certainty before movement. It tries to map the entire forest before taking one step. But the forest grows without consulting a blueprint. Life knows what it's doing, and you are life. When you're anchored and centered in the heart, you can hear, you are in tune with our frequency. The heart does not panic about purpose. The heart moves toward what feels expansive. The heart recognizes alignment through sensation, not over-analysis. The feeling of love holds more weight than the noise of fear. This is practical. When you feel stuck in the mind, pause. Shift attention to the body. Notice what feels open. Notice what feels contracted. Expansion is guidance. Contraction is information. You are not here to force purpose into existence. You are here to participate in what is already unfolding. You are never not shifting because we are holding something back from you. You are not shifting because you are holding yourself back from yourself. Often that holding back comes from believing low vibrational things about yourself. I'm not ready. I'm not capable. I'm not worthy. I must prove something first. These are learned distortions. They are not part of the design. No tree delays its growth because it doubts its worth. No river apologizes for flowing. Life knows what it's doing, and you are life. Contrast exists. Challenges exist. Periods of forgetting exist. You may look at Earth and focus on suffering and pain and war and poverty. When you focus exclusively there, you activate that version of reality in your perception. Attention energizes experience. But when you synchronize and harmonize with the frequency of love, you experience a different Earth. You begin to see cooperation, innovation, kindness, progress, resilience. You notice helpers. You notice beauty. You notice solutions emerging. Love is the language that perceives beyond your perception. This is not denial. It is direction. It's about awareness. You are designed to choose what you amplify. Your greatest, most expansive purpose is to live your highest possible experience of joy in love and abundance. That is not selfish. That is structural. When you are aligned, you contribute clarity to the whole. When you are joyful, you elevate the field around you. Ecosystems thrive because each part fulfills its nature. You thrive when you fulfill yours. So what must you do? Stop forcing. Start observing. Notice what energizes you naturally. Notice where your curiosity returns repeatedly. Notice what conversations make you lose track of time. These are not distractions. They are indicators. Everything that you desire to experience throughout our great universes is just an expression of love. Even the desire for success. Even the desire for security. Even the desire for recognition. Beneath each is the longing to feel connected, to feel valued, to feel expanded. That is love-seeking expression. When you question your desires, am I worthy to experience that? Am I dreaming too big? Am I asking for too much? Understand that expansion does not insult the universe. Expansion fulfills it. The design is generous. Life knows what it's doing, and you are life. Release the belief that there is something to be proved. Holding on to a former identity to maintain approval keeps you static. Evolution is natural. Change is evidence of participation in the system. A seed does not cling to being a seed. It becomes a tree. You are allowed to evolve without justification. When you're anchored and centered in the heart, you can hear, you are in tune with our frequency. Decisions become simpler. You move toward resonance instead of validation. You act from clarity instead of comparison. The feeling of love holds more weight than external opinion. If you ever feel alone, remember this. Isolation is a perception, not a condition. The same field of intelligence that coordinates stars coordinates your breath. You are immersed in support at all times. Love is the greatest teacher because love unlocks key codes, triggers remembrances of the eternal self. And remembrance is happening now. You are part of a brilliant design. You are not behind schedule. You are not misplaced. You are not overlooked. You are positioned. Every skill you have developed, every lesson you have integrated, every contrast you have survived, all of it refines your expression. Nothing is wasted in this system. Life knows what it's doing, and you are life. Let this settle. You do not need to search for purpose as if it is hidden. You embody purpose by being fully present to your natural inclinations and acting on them consistently. It's about participation. Take the next aligned step, not the entire staircase, just the step that feels alive. Trust the intelligence that beats your heart. Trust the rhythm that keeps you breathing through sleep. Trust the subtle excitement that pulls you forward. When you synchronize and harmonize with the frequency of love, you experience a different earth. You experience cooperation instead of competition, opportunity instead of limitation, flow instead of force. This chapter is your foundation. You are not an accident navigating chaos. You are life expressing design. And when you truly accept that, you stop fighting existence and start flowing with it. Life knows what it's doing, and you are life. You understand now that you are positioned within an organized, intelligent, loving system. You see that your existence is extraordinary without pressure. You recognize that you participate in purpose naturally. Hold that certainty. Because once you accept that you are part of a brilliant design, the next question becomes clear. If you are designed, what exactly is this awareness within you? Let's explore that now. Chapter 2. Your awareness is a gift. Notice this. You can hear your thoughts. That single fact changes everything. A thought appears. You recognize it. You evaluate it. You choose whether to follow it. That means you are not the thought. There is something deeper. There is something steady. There is something aware. Awareness is your superpower. Most people live as if they are identical to the voice in their head. The commentary runs constantly. What should I do next? Did I say the wrong thing? What if this fails? Why did that happen? The mind loops. It predicts. It replays. It compares. It constructs scenarios that may never exist. And yet, you can observe it doing all of that. The ability to observe your thoughts proves depth beyond personality. Personality is content. Awareness is context. Personality changes across years. Your preferences shift. Your style evolves. Your roles transform. But the one who notices those changes remains constant. That constant presence is not fragile. It is not reactive. It is not confused. It is stable. Awareness is your superpower. When you are stuck in the mind, it feels noisy. You jump from one question to the next. What's coming next? Where should I go? What do I need to fix? Who will approve? The speed increases. The pressure rises. The body tightens. But the moment you notice that you are stuck, you are already free. Because the noticing is awareness. And awareness creates space. In that space, you are no longer inside the storm. You are witnessing the weather pass through the sky of your mind. Love is the language that perceives beyond your perception. Through awareness, you begin to perceive from a deeper layer. You stop reacting automatically and start responding intentionally. This is not abstract. This is practical. Think about a moment in your life when reflection changed your direction. Perhaps you were about to accept a job that looked impressive on paper. Everything seemed logical. The salary made sense. The title elevated your status. Yet something felt tight. You paused. You asked yourself quietly, is this actually aligned? That pause was awareness. Or maybe you were in a relationship that felt familiar but heavy. Conversations repeated the same patterns. You noticed exhaustion in your body after every interaction. Instead of ignoring it, you reflected. You recognized the pattern. You acknowledged the truth. You chose differently. That was awareness in action. Awareness is your superpower. Without it, you operate on autopilot. With it, you design your trajectory. The original intention was for Source, who is pure unconditional love, to go out and experience versions of love. Awareness is the mechanism that allows that exploration to be conscious rather than mechanical. You are not here to drift unconsciously. You are here to participate deliberately. Everything that you desire to experience throughout our great universes is just an expression of love. But you access those expressions through conscious choice. Awareness reveals choice. When you are unaware, you repeat inherited patterns, family beliefs, cultural expectations, old narratives about worth and limitation. You might carry thoughts like, "I'm not capable. I always mess this up. People like me don't succeed." If these thoughts go unquestioned, they feel like truth. The moment you observe them, they lose authority. Observation dissolves illusion. You realize that a belief is simply a repeated thought with emotional charge. You are not obligated to continue repeating it. You are never not shifting because something external is withholding growth. You delay expansion only when you remain identified with limiting stories. Awareness interrupts that identification. Awareness is your superpower. The feeling of being alone often arises from mental narratives. No one understands me. I have to figure this out by myself. But when you step into awareness, you sense something deeper than isolation. You notice the breath supporting you. You notice the ground holding you. You notice life responding to your attention. When you're anchored and centered in the heart, you can hear, you are in tune with our frequency. Awareness is the bridge to that anchoring. It shifts attention from chaotic thinking to embodied presence. The feeling of love holds more weight than mental noise. Awareness allows you to feel that weight. Here is the distinction. Thinking analyzes, awareness recognizes. Thinking asks endless questions. Awareness rests in clarity. Thinking complicates spiritual concepts. It tries to measure love. It tries to define destiny. It debates worthiness. Awareness simply knows. Humans often make it so complicated. They try to engineer enlightenment. They search for complex techniques. They collect information. Yet the gateway is simple. Notice what is happening inside you. Notice without judgment. Notice without resistance. Awareness is your superpower. Consider how many turning points in your life came from a single realization. You realized you were capable of more. You realized a habit was harming you. You realized your environment influenced your confidence. You realized your desire was valid. Each realization redirected energy. That is transformation. It's about clarity. Awareness does not attack the ego. It illuminates it. Once illuminated, old identities soften naturally. You stop holding on to a former version of yourself just to prove consistency. Growth becomes effortless because you see what no longer fits. When you synchronize and harmonize with the frequency of love, you experience a different earth. Awareness is how you tune into that frequency. It filters your perception. Instead of scanning for threat, you begin scanning for possibility. Instead of fixating on suffering and pain and war and poverty, you recognize innovation, cooperation, and progress. What you consistently notice shapes your lived reality. Awareness determines your focus. Focus determines your experience. Your greatest, most expansive purpose is to live your highest possible experience of joy and love and abundance. You cannot live that purpose unconsciously. You must see your patterns. You must recognize your emotional responses. You must observe your motivations. Not to criticize them, to understand them. It's about intention. When a challenge appears, awareness asks, "What is this teaching me?" Instead of reacting impulsively, you evaluate calmly. Contrast becomes information. Difficulty becomes refinement. Love is the greatest teacher because love unlocks key codes, triggers remembrances of the eternal self. Awareness is how you receive those codes. It is how you remember who you are beyond temporary emotion. You are not your anger. You are not your fear. You are not your confusion. You are the one aware of all three. This recognition generates stability. From stability, wise action emerges. If a thought says, "I am not worthy," awareness responds, "That is a thought, not a fact." If a fear says, "Do not try," awareness responds, "Caution noted." Now let's evaluate calmly. You move from reaction to authorship. Awareness is your superpower. Take a practical step now. Close your eyes for a moment. Observe the next thought that appears. Do not chase it. Do not suppress it. Just notice it. Then watch it dissolve. Another thought comes. You see it. It fades. You remain. That remaining presence is constant. That presence is powerful. That presence is capable of choosing. Everything shifts when you operate from there. You stop asking, "What's wrong with me?" You start asking, "What am I noticing?" You stop chasing validation. You start aligning with clarity. You stop fearing growth. You start welcoming expansion. Awareness does not require force. It requires attention. Life knows what it's doing, and you are life. Awareness is how life becomes conscious within itself through you. You now understand that you are not limited to personality patterns. You are the observer capable of transformation. You are the witness capable of redirection. Hold that understanding. Because once you recognize awareness as your superpower, the next step becomes natural. If you can observe your thoughts, you can choose your focus. And if you choose your focus, you influence your emotional state. And if you influence your emotional state, you change your experience. Now that you see the power of awareness, it is time to explore what guides it most beautifully. Chapter 3. Joy is a compass, not a distraction. Joy is intelligent. It is not random emotion. It is not childish indulgence. It is not irresponsibility. Joy is feedback. It signals alignment with your natural design. From the moment you wake up, subtle signals guide you. Some activities drain your energy before they even begin. Others energize you simply by imagining them. That difference matters. That difference is information. Follow what lights you up. This is not reckless advice. It is structural guidance. When something genuinely lights you up, your body expands. Your breath deepens. Your attention sharpens. Time feels different. You become present without effort. That is alignment. When you synchronize and harmonize with the frequency of love, you experience a different earth. Joy is one of the clearest frequencies of that alignment. It tunes your perception toward possibility. It opens cognitive flexibility. It increases creativity. It strengthens resilience. The feeling of love holds more weight than external pressure. Joy carries that same weight. It stabilizes you from within. Consider the difference between a task that drains you and a hobby that energizes you. Imagine someone who works all day in structured meetings, following rigid agendas. By evening they feel depleted. Yet when they sit down to paint, cook, write music, train at the gym, or design a small project, their energy returns. Nothing external changed dramatically. The body responded to resonance. Follow what lights you up. Joy is not the absence of responsibility. It is the presence of coherence. When your actions align with your internal design, energy circulates efficiently. Fatigue decreases. Focus increases. Motivation feels natural rather than forced. It's about alignment. Humans often make it complicated. They assume joy must be earned after struggle. They believe seriousness equals importance. They delay fulfillment until some imaginary future milestone. Yet ecosystems do not delay expression. Birds sing because singing is natural. Flowers bloom because blooming is inherent. Rivers flow because flowing is their structure. Life knows what it's doing, and you are life. Your joy is not accidental. It is directional. Everything that you desire to experience throughout our great universes is just an expression of love. Joy is the emotional indicator that you are moving toward one of those expressions. It confirms that you are participating in expansion. Think of moments when joy quietly redirected your life. Perhaps you attended an event reluctantly, expecting nothing significant. In conversation, a topic sparked curiosity. That curiosity turned into study. Study became skill. Skill evolved into opportunity. It began with a spark. Or maybe you tried a new activity without expectation. You felt alive during it. Weeks later, you realized you were rearranging your schedule to protect that time. Months later, it became central to your identity. Joy was the compass. Follow what lights you up. There is a difference between fleeting distraction and authentic joy. Distraction numbs. It consumes attention without generating growth. Authentic joy expands awareness. It leaves you clearer than before. It often challenges you in constructive ways. Joy can require effort. Joy can demand discipline. Joy can stretch your capacity. But it energizes while it stretches. When you are anchored and centered in the heart, you can hear, you are in tune with our frequency. Joy becomes easier to recognize. It feels steady rather than frantic. It feels spacious rather than urgent. If something feels urgent and anxious, pause. That is often fear disguised as ambition. If something feels calm and exciting simultaneously, that is alignment. Awareness is your superpower. Joy is one of the signals awareness detects. You may question your desires. Am I dreaming too big? Is this practical? Shouldn't I be more realistic? These questions arise from conditioning. They reflect fear of judgment or failure. Yet expansion does not insult reality. Expansion fulfills potential. Your greatest, most expansive purpose is to live your highest possible experience of joy and love and abundance. That purpose is not separate from contribution. When you operate from joy, your output carries vitality. Others feel it. They trust it. They benefit from it. It's about contribution. Think about people you admire. Often, their excellence is fueled by genuine enthusiasm. Athletes who love their sport train differently than those motivated only by status. Artists who adore their craft create differently than those chasing validation. Energy transmits. Follow what lights you up. Even in practical careers, joy can guide refinement. A professional may enjoy mentoring more than administrative tasks. That insight can shape specialization. A teacher may discover joy in curriculum design rather than classroom management. That awareness can redirect focus. Joy narrows your path toward precision. The original intention was for Source, who is pure unconditional love, to go out and experience versions of love. Your joy represents one of those versions. When you suppress it, you reduce expression. When you honor it, you amplify experience. You are never not shifting because something is withheld from you. You pause expansion only when you dismiss your internal signals. Joy is one of the clearest signals available. Contrast clarifies it. Periods of dissatisfaction highlight what feels alive. Feeling drained in one environment increases appreciation for environments that energize you. This is not punishment. It is calibration. Love is the greatest teacher because love unlocks key codes, triggers remembrances of the eternal self. Joy is one of those codes. It reminds you who you are beneath obligation. Notice when you lose track of time. Notice when conversations stimulate curiosity. Notice when your body feels lighter. These are not trivial details. They are coordinates. Follow what lights you up. Some fear that choosing joy means ignoring global suffering. That assumption misunderstands frequency. When you focus exclusively on suffering and pain and war and poverty, you amplify heaviness within your perception. When you cultivate joy, you strengthen your capacity to contribute solutions. A depleted person struggles to help effectively. An energized person innovates. When you synchronize and harmonize with the frequency of love, you experience a different earth. Joy elevates your baseline state. From that elevation, your decisions improve. Your communication softens. Your creativity increases. It's about elevation. Practical step. Each day, identify one activity that generates genuine enthusiasm. Protect it. Even 15 minutes matters. Consistency trains your nervous system to expect alignment rather than endurance. Second step, evaluate obligations through the lens of energy, which can be reframed, which can be delegated, which can be reduced. Small adjustments accumulate. Third step, speak about what excites you. Expression strengthens clarity. Suppression weakens it. Follow what lights you up. Joy is not always loud. Sometimes it is subtle satisfaction, a quiet sense of rightness, a gentle pull toward learning more. Trust subtlety. Not every guiding signal arrives as fireworks. The feeling of love holds more weight than external validation. Joy rooted in love remains stable even when applause is absent. You are designed with preferences for a reason. They shape your contribution. They refine your skill. They determine your collaborations. They position you in environments where your energy fits naturally. Life knows what it's doing, and you are life. As you integrate awareness and honor joy, you begin navigating intentionally. You stop drifting into roles that diminish you. You start moving towards spaces that amplify you. This is not selfish. It is efficient. The world benefits when you operate from vitality rather than exhaustion. Hold this understanding firmly. Joy is guidance. It is not a distraction from purpose. It is the pathway to it. Follow what lights you up. You now recognize that awareness allows you to observe your thoughts. You understand that joy signals alignment with your design. Together, they form a powerful navigation system. And once you trust joy as a compass, the next question naturally arises. How do you grow through every season, even the ones that feel uncertain? Chapter 4. Growth is the purpose of every season. Life moves in cycles. Expansion, rest, recalibration. Nothing in nature grows endlessly without pause. There is rhythm in everything. Day transitions into night. Tides advance and retreat. Trees bloom and then shed. This pattern is not random. It is intelligent pacing. Every season serves you. When you expect constant acceleration, you misinterpret natural pauses as failure. You assume that if progress is not visible, something is wrong. Yet rest is not regression. It is integration. Expansion stretches you. Rest stabilizes you. Recalibration redirects you. This sequence repeats across your lifetime. Life knows what it's doing, and you are life. Consider your career. There may have been a period when you felt ambitious and energized. You learned rapidly. You accepted responsibility. You built momentum. That was expansion. Then perhaps a plateau appeared. Motivation softened. Tasks felt repetitive. You questioned direction. That was not collapse. That was recalibration inviting you to evaluate alignment. Every season serves you. Some interpret that plateau as a signal to quit impulsively. Others ignore it and force themselves forward mechanically. Awareness offers a third option, reflection. Ask what the season is teaching. Are you mastering patience? Are you developing leadership? Are you preparing for transition? Growth does not always look dramatic. Sometimes it appears as quiet refinement. The same applies to friendships. Certain relationships intensify quickly. Shared interests bond you. You communicate daily. Then life shifts. Priorities change. Conversations become less frequent. This is not necessarily loss. It may be evolution. People intersect for specific chapters. Some remain for decades. Others accompany you briefly. Each interaction contributes to perspective. Every season serves you. When you resist endings, you create unnecessary suffering. When you welcome transitions, you preserve gratitude. The original intention was for Source, who is pure unconditional love, to go out and experience versions of love. That exploration unfolds across seasons. You are not meant to experience only one emotional climate. Contrast clarifies desire. Stillness clarifies intention. Challenge clarifies strength. Love is the greatest teacher because love unlocks key codes, triggers remembrances of the eternal self. Even difficult seasons carry instruction. They expose attachments. They reveal misplaced identity. They strengthen discernment. Humans often make it so complicated. When a cycle shifts, the mind asks, "What did I do wrong? Why is this happening to me? How do I get back to how it was?" Yet cycles are not punishments. They are progressions. Every season serves you. When you're anchored and centered in the heart, you can hear, you are in tune with our frequency. In that anchoring, transitions feel less threatening. You sense continuity beneath change. The feeling of love holds more weight than temporary discomfort. During expansion, enthusiasm flows naturally. During rest, introspection deepens. During recalibration, clarity sharpens. Each stage strengthens a different aspect of you. Imagine a field after harvest. It appears empty. Activity slows. From a distance, nothing seems to be happening. Beneath the surface, nutrients restore. Soil regenerates. Preparation begins for the next planting. You also regenerate. You may experience a season where ambition fades. Instead of chasing constant achievement, you crave simplicity. That desire is not laziness. It is recalibration. Your nervous system integrates previous growth. Follow what lights you up, even if what lights you up now is quieter than before. Your greatest, most expansive purpose is to live your highest possible experience of joy in love and abundance. Joy may look different across seasons. At one stage it may involve building. At another it may involve healing. At another it may involve mentoring others. Expansion is not linear. It is cyclical. Every season serves you. In relationships, recalibration can manifest as boundary setting. You may realize certain dynamics no longer align. You communicate honestly. Some bonds strengthen through clarity. Others dissolve peacefully. This is maturity. You are never not shifting because something external blocks you. You delay movement only when you cling to a former season out of fear. Holding on to outdated roles prevents natural evolution. It's about trust. Trust that transitions refine you. Trust that endings create space. Trust that uncertainty develops resilience. Everything that you desire to experience throughout our great universes is just an expression of love. Even the desire for stability includes periods of adaptation. Stability does not mean stagnation. It means balance within motion. When you synchronize and harmonize with the frequency of love, you experience a different earth. You perceive cycles as choreography rather than chaos. You recognize timing rather than randomness. Think of times when a forced ending later revealed hidden opportunity. A job loss that led to a more aligned career. A relocation that introduced new community. A difficult conversation that deepened respect. At the moment, it felt disruptive. In hindsight, it was directional. Every season serves you. Awareness is your superpower. It allows you to respond to each phase consciously. Instead of resisting winter, you ask what winter cultivates. Instead of fearing spring's rapid change, you manage energy wisely. Growth requires rhythm. If you attempt constant productivity without rest, burnout follows. If you remain in rest without expansion, stagnation follows. Balance emerges when you honor both. The mind may label quieter seasons as falling behind. That belief stems from comparison. Nature does not compare one tree's timeline to another's. Each follows its internal clock. Life knows what it's doing, and you are life. When you feel alone during transitions, remember that cycles connect all living systems. Others are also recalibrating, even if silently. You are participating in a universal rhythm. Love is the language that perceives beyond your perception. Through that lens, you see that pauses are purposeful. Delays refine readiness. Detours expand perspective. It's about timing, practical application. When energy rises, channel it intentionally. Build, learn, create. When energy softens, restore deliberately. Reflect, journal, evaluate. When dissatisfaction emerges, investigate calmly. Adjust direction gradually. This approach prevents dramatic swings. It honors continuity. Every season serves you. Release the belief that growth must look impressive. True growth often appears subtle. Increased patience, improved communication, clearer boundaries, deeper gratitude. These are expansions invisible to metrics, but powerful in impact. The feeling of love holds more weight than external milestones. If a season cultivates compassion or clarity, it is successful. You are designed for progression, not permanence. Each stage prepares you for the next. Without rest, expansion loses sustainability. Without recalibration, direction becomes distorted. Accept rhythm as law. Every season serves you. You now understand that life unfolds in cycles. You recognize that pauses are integration. You see that transitions refine rather than diminish. With this awareness, you stop fearing change. You begin cooperating with it. And once you cooperate with growth across seasons, a deeper realization emerges. If every phase teaches you something, then your desires are not random impulses. They are invitations. Chapter 5. Your desires are clues from within. Desire is not an accident. It is not a weakness. It is not a flaw in your discipline. It is not something to suppress in order to be spiritual. Desire is guidance in motion. Every recurring dream, every persistent curiosity, every quiet vision that returns again and again. These are not random mental events. They are directional signals emerging from within your design. Life knows what it's doing, and you are life. When a desire continues to resurface over months or years, pay attention. Temporary impulses fade quickly. True direction remains consistent. It may evolve in form, but the essence persists. Perhaps you have imagined living in a different environment. The thought appears repeatedly. You dismiss it. It returns. You rationalize against it. It still lingers. Or maybe you have always wanted to create something. Write, build, teach, invent, perform. The idea refuses to disappear. Even when you prioritize other responsibilities, it waits patiently in the background. Desire is guidance in motion. The original intention was for Source, who is pure unconditional love, to go out and experience versions of love. Your desires are pathways through which that exploration occurs. They are invitations to expand into specific expressions. Everything that you desire to experience throughout our great universes is just an expression of love. The desire for mastery is love of growth. The desire for partnership is love of connection. The desire for prosperity is love of stability and contribution. Yet humans often mistrust desire. They question it immediately. Am I worthy to experience that? Is this unrealistic? Am I asking for too much? These doubts arise from conditioning, not from truth. Desire is guidance in motion. To interpret it accurately, you must distinguish between ego impulse and soul expansion. Ego impulse feels urgent. It feels pressured. It feels comparative. It says, I must achieve this quickly or I will fall behind. It says, if I do not get this, I am less valuable. It says, others have it, so I need it too. The body tightens. Breathing shortens. The nervous system activates. That is anxiety disguised as ambition. Soul expansion feels different. It carries calm excitement. It feels steady rather than frantic. It generates curiosity instead of fear. There is movement, but not panic. When you're anchored and centered in the heart, you can hear, you are in tune with our frequency. From that anchoring, authentic desire feels expansive. Even if the path is uncertain, the direction feels right. The feeling of love holds more weight than external validation. True desire carries that weight. It feels internally coherent, even when others do not understand it. Desire is guidance in motion. Consider an example. Someone works in a stable profession. The income is predictable. The social approval is clear. Yet for years they feel drawn toward a creative pursuit, not as a fantasy of escape, but as a genuine fascination. They research it casually. They practice privately. They imagine integrating it gradually. There is no frantic urgency. There is consistent interest. That consistency reveals alignment. Contrast this with an impulse triggered by comparison. They see someone else succeed in a field trending online. Suddenly they feel compelled to replicate it. The urgency is intense but shallow. When attention shifts, the impulse fades. One is rooted in identity. The other is rooted in insecurity. Awareness is your superpower. It allows you to observe the emotional texture of desire. Ask yourself, does this feel expansive or pressured? Does this feel curious or desperate? Does this feel like expression or validation? Desire is guidance in motion. You are never not shifting because something is withheld from you. When you hesitate to follow desire, it is often because you are holding yourself back from yourself. You may cling to a former identity because you believe there is something to prove. I must stay consistent. I cannot change direction. I have already invested too much. Yet growth redefines investment. Time spent learning is never wasted. It becomes transferable wisdom. Every season serves you. Recurring dreams indicate direction. If you repeatedly imagine speaking publicly, designing solutions, mentoring others, exploring new cultures, or building something meaningful, that repetition is not coincidence. Love is the greatest teacher because love unlocks key codes, triggers remembrances of the eternal self. Desire is one of those codes. It activates remembrance of capacity. Humans often complicate this process. They wait for full certainty before acting. They demand guarantees. They analyze outcomes repeatedly. What if it fails? What if I regret it? What if others disapprove? These questions stall movement. Desire does not require immediate dramatic action. It requires consistent small alignment. Follow what lights you up. Take incremental steps. Study. Practice. Network. Experiment. Test your curiosity in manageable ways. This transforms desire from fantasy into exploration. When you synchronize and harmonize with the frequency of love, you experience a different earth. In that frequency, opportunities appear. Conversations align. Timing feels supportive. It's about responsiveness. Your greatest, most expansive purpose is to live your highest possible experience of joy and love and abundance. Desire guides you toward that experience. Without it, life becomes mechanical. Desire fuels innovation. Desire fuels learning. Desire fuels connection. Without desire, there is no movement. The fear of wanting too much often stems from scarcity thinking. You may believe that your expansion limits others. In reality, aligned desire expands collective potential. When one person expresses their design fully, they create value that benefits many. Desire is guidance in motion. Notice how children express desire naturally. They gravitate toward activities without overanalysis. They explore repeatedly. They follow fascination until mastery or redirection occurs. Conditioning later teaches restraint rooted in fear. Yet mature alignment does not eliminate desire. It refines it. The feeling of love holds more weight than self-doubt. When desire emerges from love, it carries clarity rather than chaos. Practical integration. Write down recurring interests from the past 5 years. Identify themes. Are they creative, relational, intellectual, entrepreneurial, humanitarian? Patterns reveal direction. Second, evaluate emotional tone. Does thinking about this path energize you calmly, or does it produce anxiety about status? The body will tell you the difference. Third, take one small aligned action within 72 hours. Momentum clarifies intention. Desire is guidance in motion. You are designed with specific inclinations for a reason. They are not random cravings. They are coordinates within a larger map. Life knows what it's doing, and you are life. Trust that your authentic desires contribute to the whole. Trust that exploration refines clarity. Trust that movement reveals information. As you honor desire responsibly and consciously, you begin to shed outdated identities. You realize you are allowed to evolve beyond previous versions of yourself. And once you accept that your desires are directional, the next realization becomes unavoidable. You cannot step fully into new expansion while clinging to who you used to be. Chapter 6. You are allowed to evolve. You are not static. You are not fixed. You are not meant to preserve an outdated version of yourself for the comfort of others. You are designed for expansion. Growth is loyalty to your future. 5 years ago, your priorities were different. Your knowledge was different. Your emotional capacity was different. The way you interpreted the world has already shifted. That shift is evidence of life moving through you. Life knows what it's doing, and you are life. If you attempt to remain identical to your past self, you resist the very intelligence that animates you. Evolution is not betrayal. It is participation. Growth is loyalty to your future. Adulthood reveals this clearly. In early years, identity often forms around external validation, career titles, social roles, relationship status, public perception. These markers create stability. They help you navigate society. Then something changes. You begin questioning. Is this still aligned? Does this represent who I am now? Am I living from truth or from habit? These questions are not signs of crisis. They are signals of maturation. Desire is guidance in motion. As your awareness expands, your desires refine. When refinement occurs, identity must adjust. Consider someone who built a career based on security. For years, stability mattered most. Then curiosity grows stronger than safety. They begin exploring creative outlets. At first it feels like a hobby. Eventually it feels essential. The internal shift precedes the external change. Growth is loyalty to your future. Identity shifts in adulthood often feel uncomfortable because they disrupt expectations. Friends may remember you differently. Family may reference old patterns. Colleagues may resist your evolution. But consistency is not the same as authenticity. Love is the greatest teacher because love unlocks key codes, triggers remembrances of the eternal self. As you remember more of who you are, the container of identity expands. It cannot remain limited. The original intention was for Source, who is pure unconditional love, to go out and experience versions of love. You are one of those versions. As experience accumulates, expression evolves. Holding on to a former identity out of fear creates stagnation. You may believe there is something to be proved. You may feel pressure to justify every change. That pressure slows expansion. Growth is loyalty to your future. When you are anchored and centered in the heart, you can hear. You are in tune with our frequency. From that alignment, evolution feels natural rather than rebellious. You change because clarity increases, not because you reject your past. Your past self served you. Your present self refines you. Your future self calls you forward. Every season serves you. You are not meant to remain who you were 5 years ago because your awareness has expanded. Awareness is your superpower. With increased awareness, previous limitations become visible. Beliefs you once accepted unquestioningly may now feel restrictive. Environments that once felt stimulating may now feel confining. Conversations that once satisfied may now feel repetitive. This is growth. The feeling of love holds more weight than nostalgia. Appreciation for your past does not require living there permanently. Humans often make this transition complicated. They assume that changing direction invalidates previous effort. They fear being perceived as inconsistent. They worry about disappointing others. What will people think? Will I lose credibility? Is it too late to change? These concerns reflect attachment to image. Growth is loyalty to your future. Everything that you desire to experience throughout our great universes is just an expression of love. As your understanding of love deepens, your expression changes. That may include new boundaries, new ambitions, new partnerships, or new environments. Consider identity shifts within relationships. You may have once tolerated dynamics that now feel misaligned. As self-respect increases, communication improves. Some relationships strengthen through honesty. Others dissolve peacefully. This is recalibration, not rejection. When you synchronize and harmonize with the frequency of love, you experience a different earth. In that frequency, evolution feels supported. Opportunities arise that match your current level of clarity. You are never not shifting because something external blocks you. You delay transformation only when you cling to familiarity out of fear. It's about courage. Courage does not require dramatic announcements. It requires quiet integrity. Small, consistent actions that reflect who you are becoming. Practical integration. First, identify one belief you held 5 years ago that no longer resonates. Acknowledge the shift without judgment. Second, evaluate your current daily routine. Does it reflect your present priorities? Adjust gradually. Third, communicate your evolution calmly. You do not owe lengthy explanations. Clarity speaks through action. Growth is loyalty to your future. Identity is not a prison. It is a temporary structure. As awareness expands, the structure expands. There is no contradiction in evolving beyond your former self. Follow what lights you up. Joy often reveals when identity needs updating. If something once energized you but now drains you, listen carefully. Energy informs direction. Your greatest, most expansive purpose is to live your highest possible experience of joy and love and abundance. That purpose cannot be fulfilled by remaining stagnant. You are designed to mature. Love is the language that perceives beyond your perception. Through love, you see that growth does not erase who you were. It integrates it. Skills remain. Lessons remain. Wisdom accumulates. The difference is alignment. Growth is loyalty to your future. Release the fear that evolution isolates you. While some connections may shift, new ones emerge that resonate with your current frequency. Expansion attracts expansion. The feeling of being alone during transition is temporary. Alignment introduces new community. Life knows what it's doing, and you are life. You now understand that evolution is natural. You recognize that identity shifts reflect maturity. You see that clinging to outdated roles delays expansion. With this understanding, you allow yourself to grow without apology. And once you permit evolution internally, the next step becomes clear. If you can evolve, you can intentionally influence the reality you experience. Chapter 7: Gratitude expands your reality. Gratitude is not politeness. It is power. It is focus directed with intention. Energy flows where attention goes. Your experience of reality is shaped less by events and more by what you consistently notice within those events. Two people can walk through the same day and live entirely different emotional realities. One catalogs inconveniences. The other registers opportunities. The external world remains unchanged. The internal world transforms. Attention amplifies experience. This is not motivational language. It is neurological function. Your brain strengthens whatever it repeatedly activates. Neurons that fire together wire together. The circuits you use most become efficient. The circuits you neglect weaken. If you rehearse frustration daily, frustration becomes your default filter. If you rehearse appreciation daily, appreciation becomes automatic. Energy flows where attention goes. When you intentionally acknowledge what is working in your life, you train your nervous system to detect support. That detection shifts your physiology. The body relaxes. Cortisol decreases. Creative problem-solving increases. You think more clearly. You act more confidently. Gratitude changes chemistry. Chemistry influences perception. Perception shapes behavior. Attention amplifies experience. Humans often underestimate this principle. They believe gratitude should appear only after major achievements. They postpone appreciation until conditions feel perfect. Yet the power of gratitude lies in its consistency, not its magnitude. Notice small stability. Notice incremental progress. Notice quiet kindness. Notice personal resilience. Energy flows where attention goes. When you repeatedly focus on suffering and pain and war and poverty, your emotional field contracts. You feel heavy. You feel powerless. Your motivation decreases. That focus activates a specific version of reality in your awareness. When you deliberately include innovation, healing, collaboration, and growth in your perception, your emotional baseline elevates. You feel capable. You feel engaged. You feel responsive rather than reactive. When you synchronize and harmonize with the frequency of love, you experience a different earth. Gratitude is one of the most direct methods of synchronization. The feeling of love holds more weight than habitual complaint. Gratitude strengthens that weight. Life knows what it's doing, and you are life. Because you are life, your attention carries creative influence. What you dwell on expands internally first, then externally through your behavior. If you focus on limitation, you hesitate. If you focus on resourcefulness, you experiment. Attention amplifies experience. Simplified neuroscience explains this clearly. Your brain contains a filtering system known as the reticular activating system. It scans your environment for information that matches what you deem important. If you repeatedly think about scarcity, your brain highlights evidence of scarcity. If you repeatedly think about opportunity, your brain highlights openings. You see what you prime yourself to see. Energy flows where attention goes. This means gratitude is not passive. It is training. It programs your internal filter toward possibility. You begin noticing supportive conversations. You recognize subtle openings. You detect collaboration where you once saw competition. Love is the language that perceives beyond your perception. Gratitude teaches you to interpret reality through that language. Consider a practical example. You wake up and immediately check messages. One inconvenience appears. Your mind fixates on it. You replay it. You predict complications. Your mood shifts downward. Every neutral event afterward feels heavier because your attention has already been calibrated toward irritation. Now consider an alternative. You wake up and identify 3 stabilizing facts before engaging with the world. Your body is functioning. You have access to knowledge. You have survived previous challenges. This orientation creates steadiness. When inconvenience appears, you respond rather than react. The external day may look similar. The internal experience diverges significantly. Energy flows where attention goes. Desire is guidance in motion, and gratitude accelerates movement toward that guidance. When you appreciate current resources, you use them wisely. When you dismiss them, you overlook their value. Your greatest, most expansive purpose is to live your highest possible experience of joy and love and abundance. Gratitude expands your capacity to feel abundance before external conditions fully reflect it. Abundance begins as perception. Perception influences action. Action produces outcome. Attention amplifies experience. Humans often make it complicated. They wait to feel grateful until everything aligns perfectly. Yet alignment begins internally. Gratitude signals readiness. It communicates trust in the unfolding process. The original intention was for Source, who is pure unconditional love, to go out and experience versions of love. Gratitude recognizes those expressions in real time. It says, I see the support already present. You are never not shifting because something external withholds progress. Often you remain stagnant because attention is locked onto absence. Shift attention toward presence, and energy begins moving again. Energy flows where attention goes. In relationships, this principle is powerful. If you habitually track flaws, irritation accumulates. Emotional distance grows. If you consciously acknowledge strengths, warmth increases. The same individual appears differently through a different filter. Awareness is your superpower. You choose the filter. Gratitude does not eliminate accountability. It strengthens it. When you feel supported, you take responsibility from empowerment rather than resentment. When you're anchored and centered in the heart, you can hear, you are in tune with our frequency. Gratitude anchors you there. It shifts attention from fear-based scanning to love-based recognition. The feeling of love holds more weight than anxiety-driven analysis. Everything that you desire to experience throughout our great universes is just an expression of love. Gratitude prepares you to receive those expressions by aligning your perception with them. Practical integration. Each evening, document specific evidence of progress. Not vague statements. Precise details. This strengthens neural encoding. During challenges, identify at least one element of growth within the situation. Skill development, emotional maturity, clarity gained. Throughout the day, pause briefly and acknowledge simple stability, breath, movement, access to information, supportive technology, conversation. Energy flows where attention goes. Over time, this discipline becomes automatic. Your baseline expectation shifts from deficiency to possibility. You approach new situations assuming cooperation rather than obstruction. Life knows what it's doing, and you are life. You now understand that attention amplifies experience. You recognize that neurological pathways strengthen with repetition. You see that gratitude is an active practice that expands perception and capacity. With this mastery of focus, you are prepared to examine something deeper. If attention shapes perception, then challenges are not interruptions. They are refinements. Chapter 8. Challenges refine your strength. Challenges are not enemies. They are not punishments. They are not failures. They are not signs that you are inadequate. They are tools of refinement. This is shaping me. Obstacles are the curriculum of growth. They illuminate areas where clarity is needed. They test resilience. They highlight hidden strengths that only emerge under pressure. Every difficulty is a lesson disguised as circumstance. Life knows what it's doing, and you are life. When something does not go as planned, the instinct is to resist. The mind may argue, this shouldn't be happening. The body tightens. Energy becomes stuck. Yet every challenge contains encoded information. Information designed to expand understanding, skill, and self-mastery. This is shaping me. Consider someone who lost a career opportunity unexpectedly. At first, despair emerges. The loss feels destabilizing. Confidence wavers. Then reflection begins. What skills can be repurposed? What desires have been ignored? The setback becomes directional. It redirects attention toward a more aligned path. Months later, the individual discovers a vocation that brings deeper fulfillment than the original plan ever could. This is shaping me. Another example emerges in personal relationships. Someone may endure betrayal, rejection, or miscommunication. The initial emotional response is intense. Pain surfaces. Trust is questioned. Over time, insight develops. Patterns of interaction become clearer. Boundaries become refined. Future choices become wiser. Emotional resilience strengthens. This is shaping me. Obstacles are amplifiers of awareness. Without challenge, complacency persists. Without tension, focus remains shallow. Difficult situations activate introspection, requiring discernment and evaluation. They uncover hidden dimensions of character and perspective. Attention amplifies learning. Humans often forget that contrast exists to clarify preference. Life is not always smooth by accident. Resistance, hardship, and friction illuminate priorities. They highlight misalignments and reveal latent capacities. The presence of contrast is evidence that evolution is active. This is shaping me. Even subtle challenges carry weight. A conversation that triggers discomfort is a micro-obstacle. A technical problem that slows workflow is a minor test. Daily frictions accumulate. Each instance exercises patience, skill, and judgment. Cumulative experience from small challenges cultivates competence for larger trials. Life knows what it's doing, and you are life. Consider public figures or innovators. Many reach their defining breakthroughs only after repeated failures. Each rejection refined strategy. Each critique improved execution. Each setback revealed areas of latent talent. Without these obstacles, clarity of purpose would have arrived much later, if at all. This is shaping me. The feeling of love holds more weight than the frustration of temporary difficulty. When anchored in love and trust, challenges become neutral teachers. They do not dominate consciousness. They integrate naturally into growth trajectories. Emotional reactivity diminishes. This is shaping me. Neuroscience reinforces this principle. The brain forms resilience through repeated exposure to manageable stressors. The amygdala learns to process tension without overreaction. Prefrontal networks strengthen, enabling better decision-making. Every challenge navigated consciously rewires perception and response. Attention amplifies strength. When you are anchored and centered in the heart, you can hear. You are in tune with our frequency. In that state, obstacles feel directional rather than threatening. Energy flows through difficulty rather than against it. You observe, evaluate, act, and integrate seamlessly. This is shaping me. Contrast also sharpens discernment. Without obstacles, choices are often taken for granted. Challenges illuminate where focus is misaligned. They reveal what you value most. They expose where courage, patience, or skill requires strengthening. Each difficulty enhances perspective and efficacy. Life knows what it's doing, and you are life. Consider individuals who endured loss or health setbacks. Some redirected attention toward neglected passions. Others redefined relationships or communities. Pain became motivation, reflection, and insight. Purpose crystallized through adversity. This is shaping me. Humans frequently interpret discomfort as error rather than signal. They may ask, "Why is this happening to me?" Yet the question misses the functional perspective. The question that aligns with expansion is, "What is this teaching me? How can I respond wisely?" Every challenge carries embedded information. Its impact depends on receptivity. This is shaping me. Practical steps for integration. First, name the challenge clearly. Avoid exaggeration. Observe it objectively. What are the facts? What emotions are activated? This clarity reduces confusion. Second, identify the lesson. What skill, insight, or adjustment does this circumstance invite? Even setbacks in emotion or behavior have instructional value. Third, take deliberate action. Adjust patterns. Apply insights. Experiment. Test responses. Observe effects. Energy flows where attention goes. Challenges refine alignment. They act as mirrors of internal states. Persistent obstacles highlight areas for inner work. Responsive engagement transforms friction into fuel. Transformation accelerates when difficulty is embraced consciously. The original intention was for Source, who is pure unconditional love, to go out and experience versions of love. Adversity is part of that exploration. Each trial enables expression, discovery, and mastery. The feeling of love holds more weight than fear or frustration. Love remains stable, even when circumstances fluctuate. Centering in love converts challenges from resistance into opportunity. You are never not shifting because something is withheld externally. Obstacles appear only when internal growth is invited. Stagnation is often self-imposed through avoidance. This is shaping me. Notice how each solved problem builds confidence. Each navigation of friction expands resourcefulness. Each reflection on discomfort strengthens judgment. Collectively, these experiences compound, preparing you for increasingly complex expression of your desires and intentions. Attention amplifies experience. Focus enhances resilience. Action solidifies skill. Energy flows where attention goes. You are designed to encounter contrast. It is a signal that expansion is active. Challenges are not random. They are calibrated to your level of awareness. They do not punish. They refine. They clarify. This is shaping me. As you recognize that obstacles are instructive, your approach to life transforms. Anxiety softens. Action becomes intentional. Decisions align with purpose. Growth feels natural rather than forced. Your greatest, most expansive purpose is to live your highest possible experience of joy in love and abundance. Challenges accelerate readiness for that purpose. They prepare perspective, endurance, and discernment. Life knows what it's doing, and you are life. You now understand that obstacles develop clarity and resilience. You see how they refine skill, patience, and insight. You recognize that adversity is directional rather than punitive. With this awareness, you are ready to explore how internal energy shapes external reality. Chapter 9. Presence unlocks peace. Peace is found in presence. It does not arrive through achievement. It does not depend on circumstances. It is not postponed until the right moment. It is accessed now, in this very breath. Here is enough. The mind often manufactures pressure. It projects into future scenarios. What will happen next? It asks. Am I prepared? Am I enough? These questions create urgency where none exists. They distort reality. They create stress without reason. Presence dissolves imagined pressure. When you focus on this moment, the flood of what-ifs dissipates. Awareness of sensation, breath, and body grounds you. Worry cannot occupy the same space as conscious attention. Calm emerges naturally. Here is enough. Consider a tree in a forest. It does not fret about tomorrow's weather. It does not compare itself to surrounding trees. It draws sunlight, absorbs water, and grows in rhythm with the environment. Growth unfolds effortlessly. You too can align with natural rhythm through presence. Attention amplifies experience. Begin a guided breathing practice. Inhale slowly through the nose. Feel air filling your lungs. Hold for a moment. Exhale gently through the mouth. Let tension release with the breath. Repeat for 3 cycles, observing sensation, noticing release, embracing stillness. Here is enough. As you breathe intentionally, notice the rhythm of life within you. The heartbeat, the subtle movements, the connection to gravity. Each sensation anchors you in reality rather than speculation. Awareness expands, encompassing body, mind, and emotion. Presence removes the need to control. The future unfolds through your engagement with now. Decisions made in clarity produce aligned results. Anxiety about outcomes diminishes. You act from insight rather than reactivity. You operate with precision and ease. Here is enough. Imagine a situation that normally triggers tension. Hold it lightly in your awareness. Inhale, allowing space. Exhale, releasing imagined pressure. Observe how the scenario feels less overwhelming. Presence neutralizes exaggeration. The mind's amplification of potential failure diminishes. Attention amplifies experience. This is not denial. It is recognition. Difficulties remain. Plans still require action. Consequences continue to exist. Presence simply relocates your focus to what is immediately manageable, creating calm clarity and enhancing decision-making. Here is enough. Notice how habitual mental loops lose grip when anchored in awareness. Thoughts about past mistakes or future uncertainty drift like clouds across a clear sky. You observe without judgment. You witness without attachment. Peace fills the space left behind. Breath becomes a tether. Awareness becomes a tool. Conscious attention becomes medicine. Presence allows full engagement with life's gifts. Joy is not postponed. Gratitude is not deferred. The richness of experience is available in this moment, unmediated by projection or analysis. Here is enough. Humans often believe peace requires elimination of challenge. They think tranquility demands ideal conditions. Yet peace is a state of being, not an environment. It exists in the alignment between observation and acceptance. Energy flows where attention goes. Every sensation, every thought, every emotion carries information. Observation of each element without judgment transforms chaos into clarity. The original intention was for Source, who is pure unconditional love, to go out and experience versions of love. Presence allows participation in this unfolding consciously. Here is enough. Practical integration. Begin each day with 5 conscious breaths. Allow attention to settle in the body, noticing weight, temperature, and subtle movement. Whenever pressure arises, pause. Take 3 intentional breaths. Reconnect with the physical present. Observe without needing to react. End the day with a reflective pause, acknowledging moments of engagement fully experienced, without judgment. Here is enough. Challenges may persist. Desires may remain unfulfilled. Tasks may demand attention. Yet when the foundation of presence is established, you navigate life from clarity rather than scarcity, from peace rather than panic. Your greatest, most expansive purpose is to live your highest possible experience of joy in love and abundance. Presence unlocks access to that purpose continuously. Energy flows where attention goes. You are never not shifting because something blocks you. Stagnation appears only when attention drifts into projection and fear. Recenter. Observe. Breathe. Engage. Here is enough. Peace is a practice. Presence is a skill. Both are accessible moment by moment. With repetition, awareness becomes your baseline. Calm becomes your default. Insight becomes effortless. Love is the greatest teacher because love unlocks key codes, triggers remembrances of the eternal self. Presence is one of those codes. It reminds you that reality is never lacking when you experience it fully. You now understand that the present moment removes imagined pressure. You see that calm awareness transforms perception and decision-making. You recognize that peace is available now, without conditions. And once presence is established as a foundation, the next step naturally emerges. Chapter 10. You are a natural creator. Creation is your birthright. You are not a passive observer. You are not subject to circumstance alone. You are not bound by external conditions. You are an active participant in reality. I create from intention. Every thought carries weight. Every mental image shapes perception. Every internal narrative directs action. Thoughts are not ephemeral. They are energetic signals that guide your behavior, influence emotions, and sculpt your environment. What you consistently think, you consistently attract into experience. Attention amplifies experience. Consider the smallest choices you make daily. How you respond to emails, how you speak to yourself in the mirror, what you choose to focus on during idle moments. These micro-decisions compound into habits. Habits define identity. Identity defines the version of reality you inhabit. I create from intention. When you awaken to this power, you realize that no action is too small to matter. Choosing patience over reaction, choosing curiosity over judgment, choosing presence over distraction. These are creative acts. They shape how others perceive you, how opportunities appear, and how your inner landscape feels. Life knows what it's doing, and you are life. Every thought that arises is an invitation. Some thoughts guide toward alignment, others signal areas for adjustment. Awareness allows distinction. By observing the origin and quality of your thoughts, you can choose which energy you cultivate. This discernment is the hallmark of intentional creation. I create from intention. Reality is a mirror. You notice patterns that reflect your internal state. Gratitude magnifies abundance. Fear magnifies scarcity. Joy amplifies connection. Calm amplifies clarity. Each mental stance reinforces specific experiences. When you understand this, you see that creation is constant, deliberate, and unavoidable. Small daily choices create long-term identity. Consider a morning routine. The first actions of the day set tone and trajectory. A choice to engage in mindful breathing primes perception. A choice to approach tasks with focus strengthens executive function. A choice to notice beauty enhances emotional resilience. These repeated selections cultivate a coherent sense of self that naturally aligns with your desires. I create from intention. Even setbacks contribute to creation. When a problem arises, your response is a formative act. Do you react with resistance or engage with clarity? Do you interpret challenge as limitation or as a directional signal? Each response modifies internal narrative and external results. The original intention was for Source, who is pure unconditional love, to go out and experience versions of love. Creation is your vehicle for participating in that exploration consciously. Every thought, decision, and action is a thread woven into the tapestry of experience. I create from intention. You are never not creating. Whether aware or distracted, deliberate or reactive, energy flows where attention goes. Perceptions, interactions, and environments are sculpted moment by your mental and emotional input. Recognition of this power converts what may have seemed random into coherent influence. Small daily choices create long-term identity. Reflect on the patterns of the past week. Where did attention linger? What responses were habitual? Which thoughts were repeated unconsciously? These reflections reveal your creative tendencies and highlight opportunities to consciously redirect energy toward alignment. I create from intention. Love is the greatest teacher because love unlocks key codes, triggers remembrances of the eternal self. Your thoughts, rooted in love and aligned with heart intelligence, carry transformative weight. Thought becomes energy. Energy becomes action. Action becomes reality. Creation is effortless when aligned with love's frequency. Even routine decisions contribute to larger creation. Choosing kindness, choosing patience, choosing honesty, even when unnoticed by others, accumulates into long-term character and results. These seemingly minor choices define your path more than sporadic grand gestures. Small daily choices create long-term identity. You are never constrained by previous mistakes. Creation is ongoing. You may adjust direction at any moment, reorient focus, and redirect energy. Each recalibration strengthens clarity, refines identity, and shapes reality more intentionally. I create from intention. Practical integration. Begin each morning by setting an intention. Specify how you want your thoughts and actions to align with purpose. Throughout the day, observe thoughts as signals. Ask, does this thought support my desired outcome? Redirect when necessary. End the day reflecting on the choices that reinforced alignment and those that need adjustment. Track patterns rather than judge them. I create from intention. You now understand that every thought influences perception and action. You see that identity is formed through repeated daily choices. You recognize that creation is not passive. It is continuous, inevitable, and within your conscious control. And once you realize the creative power inherent in thought and intention, the next step becomes clear. Chapter 11. Alignment feels like ease. Alignment is effortless. It is not struggle disguised as progress. It is not tension hidden behind determination. It is not pushing against life to make it happen. It is resonance. If it flows, it grows. When you are aligned, energy moves naturally. Your intentions, actions, and desires resonate in harmony with life's rhythm. You experience forward motion without force. Progress becomes a natural outcome of resonance rather than a battle against circumstance. Life knows what it's doing, and you are life. Notice relationships that feel light and energizing. Conversations flow naturally. Presence is welcomed and reciprocated. Communication feels intuitive. Growth occurs without pressure. Joy accompanies interaction rather than being postponed until conditions improve. If it flows, it grows. Similarly, consider work that resonates. Tasks feel engaging rather than draining. Ideas come easily. Solutions appear spontaneously. Your energy is maintained instead of depleted. You are productive without sacrificing well-being. Performance expands naturally. Ease is not laziness. It is clarity. It is correct positioning within the flow of life. You are not working harder than necessary. You are operating smarter by moving with support rather than against resistance. If it flows, it grows. Resistance signals misalignment. When effort feels heavy, when results are delayed despite consistent action, pause. Observe where energy becomes stuck. Notice patterns that require adjustment. Realignment produces acceleration. Energy flows where attention goes. Even in challenging moments, alignment can exist. You may need to adjust expectations, refine methods, or release outdated attachments. These are not failures. They are recalibrations. Recalibration allows natural energy to return. It restores flow and amplifies results. If it flows, it grows. Love is the greatest teacher because love unlocks key codes, triggers remembrances of the eternal self. Alignment is one of those codes. When you move in resonance with love's frequency, interactions, tasks, and personal choices feel easier and more rewarding. Flow emerges naturally. Resistance diminishes. Practical integration. Identify moments during the day where energy feels light. What activities, conversations, or tasks create this feeling? Notice the qualities of these experiences. Observe moments of struggle. Where is effort disproportionate to outcome? Reflect on potential adjustments to restore resonance. Take one small aligned action daily. Even a minor adjustment in approach or mindset can restore natural flow. If it flows, it grows. Alignment is an ongoing practice. It is awareness, not perfection. As you notice patterns of ease, you cultivate the ability to choose actions, interactions, and intentions that feel effortless yet productive. You recognize that harmony amplifies influence and results. Your greatest, most expansive purpose is to live your highest possible experience of joy and love and abundance. Alignment enables that purpose to manifest consistently. When you move with flow, expansion occurs naturally. Even subtle choices communicate alignment. A kind word, a prompt action, a clear intention, all ripple outward. Small calibrations accumulate, reinforcing harmony and creating exponential impact. If it flows, it grows. You are never not shifting. You may perceive challenges, but alignment allows you to move with them instead of against them. Flow produces resilience. Ease encourages creativity. Harmony multiplies opportunities. Energy flows where attention goes. Relationships, work, personal goals, and even self-expression thrive when alignment is prioritized. Ease is a signal, not an exception. It indicates that your internal state matches your external path. When this occurs, success and fulfillment accelerate without strain. Love is the language that perceives beyond your perception. Alignment tunes you to that language. It allows participation in life's unfolding with grace and joy. Notice where life feels fluid. Celebrate these moments. Anchor awareness there. The more you focus on resonance, the easier it becomes to recognize and act in alignment consistently. If it flows, it grows. Practical integration continues with mindfulness of energy. Monitor sensations during action, noting whether momentum feels natural or forced. Adjust accordingly. Refinement strengthens flow, reinforces clarity, and enhances results. Your past does not limit ease. Your potential for alignment is immediate. Each decision can reinforce harmony. Each intention can strengthen resonance. Each action can amplify effortless growth. If it flows, it grows. You now understand that alignment produces ease, clarity, and natural forward motion. You recognize that life is designed to support you when you operate in resonance rather than against it. You see that ease is not avoidance, but a sign of correct positioning in your personal journey. And once alignment is experienced as effortless, the next step is clear. Chapter 12. Love is your native state. Love is not something to earn. It is not a reward. It is not dependent on circumstance. It is not occasional. It is your natural condition. Love is who I am. Beneath layers of fear, doubt, and self-judgment, humans are intrinsically drawn toward care, connection, and empathy. This impulse is not learned. It is encoded. It emerges instinctively in moments of need. When someone is in danger, hurt, or distress, the first response often arises as concern, support, or compassion, even before thought or logic intervenes. Love is who I am. Consider a situation where a stranger encounters someone in crisis. Perhaps a child falls. A person trips or becomes disoriented. Without hesitation, assistance is offered. Hands reach out. Comfort is provided. Actions arise automatically, without deliberation or expectation of reward. Compassion is present. Instinctive care is evident. Energy flows where attention goes. This native state is available to you continuously. It is not conditional on mood, external validation, or circumstances. Love remains beneath worry, beneath insecurity, beneath fear. It is your foundation, your essence, your true identity. When you connect to it, everything shifts. Love is who I am. Every human experience is a canvas for love to express itself. Even challenges, setbacks, and conflict provide opportunities for heart-centered action. A smile in tension, a kind word in frustration, a moment of patience and impatience, all are expressions of innate love. When exercised consciously, these moments amplify presence, clarity, and connection. Love is who I am. Fear may disguise itself as anger, anxiety, or judgment, but these are temporary veils. Beneath every reaction, love waits, persistent and unaltered. Awareness allows you to see beyond the mask of fear to the stable, enduring current of care that defines your essence. Energy flows where attention goes. Love manifests in decision-making. When choices are guided by care rather than avoidance, by compassion rather than reactivity, outcomes harmonize with greater alignment. Relationships deepen. Collaboration thrives. Environments feel safer, lighter, and more expansive. Love's presence influences thought, action, and result. Love is who I am. Consider crises where instinctive compassion surfaces. A person sees another struggling with an accident or sudden difficulty. Without expectation, support appears. Resources are offered. Listening emerges. Encouragement flows. Fear diminishes in proportion to loving attention. Human heart demonstrates its natural inclination to connect. Energy flows where attention goes. Love is also internal. It is the basis of self-acceptance. Beneath self-criticism and doubt, your essence is caring. When you acknowledge this, self-compassion flourishes. You stop resisting, judging, or punishing yourself for perceived shortcomings. You recognize your own value and worth as inherent. Love is who I am. Practical integration. Begin each day with the statement, "Love is who I am." Allow it to resonate fully with breath and body. Throughout the day, notice instinctive impulses to care, support, or connect, and allow them to guide action. At moments of discomfort, pause and identify love beneath fear. Consider how compassion can inform the response rather than reaction. Energy flows where attention goes. When love becomes recognized as default, fear diminishes in relative importance. Situations that once triggered anxiety or resistance are met with clarity, patience, and guidance. Your responses are rooted in connection rather than separation. Love is who I am. Even in challenging interactions, returning to love stabilizes energy. A tense conversation can be infused with patience. A difficult task can be approached with curiosity rather than frustration. Love informs timing, tone, and focus. Action aligns with purpose effortlessly. Life knows what it's doing, and you are life. Notice how communities respond in moments of natural compassion. In crises, people instinctively gather resources, support one another, and provide aid without deliberation. This is not taught, it is intrinsic. Every human carries this capacity, and it is always accessible. Love is who I am. You do not need to manufacture love artificially. You do not need to force it through rituals, obligations, or external approval. It is already present, inherent, and persistent. You only need to remove the veils of distraction, fear, and assumption. Awareness allows love to emerge naturally as the guiding principle. Energy flows where attention goes. Practical integration continues with reflection. Observe each moment where fear or anxiety dominates. Identify the love beneath it. Name it. Feel it. Allow it to guide subsequent action. Over time, this practice rewires perception and response, creating a baseline of heart-centered living. Love is who I am. Your greatest, most expansive purpose is to live your highest possible experience of joy in love and abundance. Recognizing love as your native state connects you directly to that purpose. Every action, interaction, and intention flows from alignment with this truth. Even subtle recognition of love's presence amplifies clarity and resonance. Each breath, glance, or gesture carries the imprint of your natural state. You influence yourself and others through consistent heart-centered attention. Love is who I am. You are never not shifting. Evolution continues, but love is constant. Challenges, desires, or distractions may arise, yet the core remains stable. Returning attention to your heart aligns perception, action, and identity with the eternal current of care and connection. Energy flows where attention goes. You now understand that beneath fear, humans naturally care and connect. You see that instinctive compassion is a signal of your true essence. You recognize that love is your default state, accessible at all times. And once love is recognized as your foundation, the next step becomes natural. Chapter 13. Contribution creates meaning. Contribution is the natural expression of abundance. It is not obligation. It is not sacrifice in the sense of loss. It is not transactional reward. It is the flow of energy from your heart into the world. What I give expands me. Serving others strengthens connection. Each act, no matter the size, creates resonance that returns to you in amplified form. The energy you invest in another does not diminish, it multiplies. Generosity is inherently regenerative. Fulfillment increases with engagement in the well-being of others. Energy flows where attention goes. Even small acts have profound impact. A kind word to a stranger, a supportive message to a friend, a moment of listening without judgment. These gestures accumulate. They ripple outward beyond immediate perception. Each contribution builds networks of energy, perception, and alignment that shape reality over time. What I give expands me. Consider someone mentoring another in their work. At first, the time invested may seem minimal, yet the impact on confidence, clarity, and motivation is significant. Over weeks and months, small guidance multiplies into skill, opportunity, and inspiration. This is the power of incremental contribution. Every effort compounds, producing significance. Human connection thrives on contribution. When you offer insight, encouragement, or practical help, relationships deepen. Trust strengthens. Reciprocity becomes natural. Life responds to generosity with alignment, providing additional opportunities to act in service. What I give expands me. Contribution also generates self-discovery. Through helping others, you recognize latent skills, hidden talents, and unexplored capacities. You discover joy in application, creativity in problem-solving, and satisfaction in collaboration. These realizations enhance your identity and expand the horizon of possibility. Energy flows where attention goes. Contribution is not limited to grand gestures. Thoughtful consideration, quiet acts of support, or consistent attention to others' needs produce lasting impact. The subtle and consistent application of care fosters trust, intimacy, and collective strength. What I give expands me. Even challenges reveal opportunities to contribute. When someone struggles, your presence, listening, or guidance can catalyze clarity. By responding from a place of love rather than obligation, you create conditions for growth and resilience. Your influence multiplies naturally when aligned with heart intelligence. Life knows what it's doing, and you are life. Practical integration. Identify one act of service each day, however small, and engage consciously. Observe the ripple effect it produces. When opportunities arise, consider where your skills, insight, or presence can create benefit. Prioritize quality over quantity. Reflect weekly on accumulated contributions. Recognize the growth, connection, and fulfillment these acts generate. What I give expands me. The feeling of love holds more weight than temporary discomfort or effort. Contribution grounded in love carries resonance beyond immediate outcomes. Even when results are unseen, energy has shifted, connections have deepened, and the world has adjusted to your action. Energy flows where attention goes. When you serve consciously, fulfillment emerges naturally. This fulfillment is not external reward, it is internal alignment. You recognize your capacity to positively influence life, and your sense of purpose strengthens. Your identity integrates with the act of giving. What I give expands me. Love is the greatest teacher because love unlocks key codes, triggers remembrances of the eternal self. Contribution is one of those codes. Service demonstrates that abundance flows outward and returns inward. Every positive action reinforces the innate connection to joy, love, and possibility. Even simple presence creates impact. Listening attentively, acknowledging effort, offering encouragement. These are contributions that compound over time. They establish foundations for trust, collaboration, and mutual growth. What I give expands me. You are never not shifting. Every day presents new opportunities for contribution. Each interaction, each decision, each act of attention shapes the world and yourself simultaneously. This ongoing process reinforces connection, expands influence, and strengthens alignment with purpose. Energy flows where attention goes. Consider the long-term pattern of consistent contribution. Small acts repeated daily evolve into a life of meaningful engagement. Influence expands naturally. Recognition follows energy, not expectation. Fulfillment becomes habitual, not conditional. What I give expands me. Your greatest, most expansive purpose is to live your highest possible experience of joy and love and abundance. Contribution is a direct path to experiencing that purpose. When you give from love, you are aligned with the natural flow of life, reinforcing joy and abundance in every dimension. Practical integration continues with reflection. Identify the outcomes of your contributions, both visible and subtle. Observe the effects on your own energy, on relationships, and on the environment. Recognize patterns of positive feedback. What I give expands me. You now understand that serving others enhances fulfillment. You see that small acts accumulate into long-term significance. You recognize that contribution is both natural and powerful, directly linking your energy with growth, love, and joy. And with this understanding, you are prepared to explore the next profound step. Chapter 14. Integration turns insight into transformation. Insight alone is not enough. Awareness is a spark, but it does not produce change without application. Understanding must move through the body, through habits, through choices. Knowledge becomes transformation only when embodied in daily life. Live what you learn. Every observation, every realization, every aha moment is a guidepost, not a destination. It points toward action, toward adjustment, toward expansion. Ignoring these cues keeps potential dormant. Integration activates insight, making it practical, tangible, and transformative. Energy flows where attention goes. Daily practices anchor awareness into reality. Journaling illuminates thought patterns, clarifies priorities, and records subtle shifts that may otherwise go unnoticed. Reflection strengthens comprehension, allowing lessons to penetrate more deeply. Intentional action applies understanding, creating alignment between internal perception and external behavior. Live what you learn. Consider someone who reads a new principle about patience. The understanding excites the mind. But only when they pause during stress, breathe, and choose calm responses does transformation occur. Repetition reinforces the shift. Slowly, patience becomes the default, not the exception. Knowledge transitions into embodied wisdom. Integration is the bridge between thought and being. Growth requires embodiment. You cannot merely contemplate love, compassion, or alignment. You must act from them consistently. You must allow them to influence decisions, interactions, and reactions. Daily engagement transforms theory into lived reality. Live what you learn. Even subtle practices accumulate power. Noticing how you speak to yourself, choosing one deliberate act of kindness, taking a mindful breath before responding. Each integrates lessons into habitual expression. Small, repeated efforts compound, producing shifts in energy, identity, and influence. Energy flows where attention goes. Journaling consolidates reflection. Writing thoughts, intentions, and observations strengthens neural pathways. It solidifies understanding. It provides clarity when patterns repeat. Insights recorded today become reference points for tomorrow, forming a map for continuous growth. Live what you learn. Reflection deepens awareness. Pause to observe responses to daily situations. Did anxiety guide decisions, or did love inform them? Did fear or impatience shape interactions, or did alignment and compassion prevail? Honest evaluation converts experience into applied learning. Intentional action manifests insight. When you choose deliberately instead of reactively, transformation is guaranteed. Each step becomes an affirmation of understanding. Each decision reinforces alignment. Each outcome provides feedback, further refining your growth trajectory. Live what you learn. Consider integration in relationships. Observing patterns is informative. Acting differently than habitual response produces change. Choosing to listen before responding, prioritizing empathy over judgment, and expressing gratitude over critique transforms connection. The relationship evolves because internal insight is embodied externally. Integration turns reflection into habit. Habit becomes character. Character directs reality. Transformation is the result. Live what you learn. The original intention was for Source, who is pure unconditional love, to go out and experience versions of love. Integration ensures that this experience is consciously expressed. Knowledge of love, when embodied through practice, amplifies your capacity to experience it fully and share it with the world. Energy flows where attention goes. Embodiment is not immediate. It requires patience, consistency, and awareness. Growth unfolds through repeated cycles of observation, adjustment, and application. Each day of conscious practice reinforces alignment, expanding clarity, compassion, and capability. Live what you learn. Even when results are subtle or delayed, integration is active. Your internal state changes. Your perception adjusts. Your energy begins to influence reality differently. The transformation is cumulative, tangible, and inevitable. Daily habits are the scaffolding for lasting change. Breathing practices, journaling, mindful observation, deliberate action, reflection all compound. They anchor insights into living, breathing reality, ensuring that transformation is permanent rather than temporary. Live what you learn. Challenges are part of this process. They reveal gaps in integration, areas requiring more conscious attention. Each difficulty provides feedback. Each choice offers an opportunity to embody lessons more fully. The cycle of insight, application, and refinement is continuous, ever-expanding, and profoundly constructive. Energy flows where attention goes. Practical integration. Begin each morning by reviewing lessons from prior experiences. Identify one principle to embody consciously that day. Journal insights and reflections daily, noting patterns, challenges, and opportunities for growth. Conclude each day by identifying specific actions taken to live your learning, acknowledging successes, and planning recalibrations for continued alignment. Live what you learn. You now understand that daily practices convert insight into actionable transformation. You recognize that growth requires embodiment. You see that integration is the bridge from understanding to lived reality. And once insight is fully embodied, you are ready to complete your journey. Chapter 15. You are becoming more of who you already are. You are not broken. You do not require repair. You are not incomplete. You do not need to chase approval or validation. You are revealing, not fixing. I am unfolding perfectly. Every experience, every choice, every challenge you encounter is part of a natural unfolding process. Life is not a series of corrections. It is a process of expression. You are gradually uncovering dimensions of yourself that were always present. Each moment illuminates more of your true essence. Energy flows where attention goes. You were designed for expansion. From the moment of your existence, your blueprint has been one of growth, joy, and exploration. Expansion is not optional. It is your natural trajectory. Every insight you gain, every lesson you embody, every act of love and alignment contributes to this expansion. I am unfolding perfectly. Consider a tree growing in the forest. Its branches extend towards sunlight effortlessly. Its roots deepen into nourishing soil. No external force compels it beyond its inherent design. It simply unfolds according to its nature. You are doing the same. Life knows what it's doing, and you are life. All that you have learned in previous chapters, awareness, joy, alignment, contribution, presence, is now synthesized. These are not separate skills. They are expressions of your true self. Integration of insight and action allows your life to reflect who you already are at a deeper level. I am unfolding perfectly. You are expanding into joy naturally. There is no need for struggle to validate progress. When you align with your heart, move with love, and act with conscious intention, expansion becomes effortless. The universe mirrors your alignment, offering opportunities that resonate with your growing frequency. Energy flows where attention goes. Every desire you feel, every instinct you follow, Every choice aligned with your values is a revelation of your higher self. You are discovering abilities, capacities, and wisdom that were present all along, waiting to be consciously recognized. Nothing external can bestow this. You simply reveal it. I am unfolding perfectly. Obstacles and setbacks are not interruptions. They are part of the unveiling process. Each challenge illuminates areas where greater self-awareness, resilience, and alignment can emerge. They are designed to guide, refine, and strengthen you. When faced with difficulty, you are not repairing a flaw, you are activating latent potential. Love is the greatest teacher because love unlocks key codes, triggers remembrances of the eternal self. Your natural state is love, and as you embody this truth, every layer of distraction falls away. You rediscover trust, connection, and clarity with each unfolding moment. I am unfolding perfectly. You are not striving to become something you are not. You are releasing limitation, fear, and self-doubt. You are letting go of conditioning, stories, and identities that no longer serve your highest expression. The process of becoming is about freedom, not force. Energy flows where attention goes. Consider the vastness of your own potential. Each decision, each reflection, each act of alignment activates aspects of your design that were previously dormant. You are expanding organically, intentionally, and joyfully. Growth is your inheritance. Recognition is your reward. I am unfolding perfectly. Practical integration. Begin each day with the affirmation, I am unfolding perfectly. Let it resonate throughout mind, body, and heart. Observe moments of expansion or clarity, and acknowledge them as natural revelations of your essence. At the end of each day, reflect on actions and experiences that revealed more of who you already are. Celebrate this unfolding rather than critique what is incomplete. Energy flows where attention goes. Even in uncertainty, you are growing. You are always in motion, always evolving, always moving closer to the most authentic expression of yourself. Trust the process. Trust your natural trajectory. Each breath, choice, and intention is a step along this infinite path of expansion. I am unfolding perfectly. Full circle reminder. You were designed for joy, growth, and love. You were created to experience life fully, to express your brilliance, and to participate consciously in the unfolding of existence. There is no rush. There is no error. There is only continuous revelation of what already is. Energy flows where attention goes. You are not becoming more than yourself. You are simply peeling back layers, clearing away resistance, and aligning with what has always been true. Your essence is abundant, loving, creative, and expansive. Each moment of awareness is a celebration of this truth. I am unfolding perfectly. As this journey concludes, remember that mastery is not a destination. It is a natural state of living fully, with awareness, love, and joy. Every chapter has been a guide, a mirror, a set of tools to support your awakening. Now the process continues as a seamless, conscious expansion of who you already are. I am unfolding perfectly. Life knows what it's doing, and you are life. You have arrived at this moment fully equipped to live joyfully, love deeply, contribute meaningfully, and expand endlessly. Your purpose is already active within you. The path forward is clear. Continue to reveal, continue to embody, continue to trust the infinite intelligence that is your essence. I am unfolding perfectly. This is not an endpoint. It is a celebration of becoming. Each breath, each choice, each act of alignment perpetuates your natural expansion. You are whole. You are brilliant. You are love in motion. I am unfolding perfectly. And now, with awareness fully engaged, your next experience is ready. You move forward anchored in love, aligned with purpose, and radiantly expressing the truth of who you already are. Energy flows where attention goes. I am unfolding perfectly. In closing, you began this journey with a question. Why am I alive? Now the answer feels different. You are alive to experience. You are alive to expand. You are alive to love. You are alive to create. You are alive to become more aware of the miracle that is already happening. You are not here to rush. You are not here to compare. You are not here to measure your worth against anyone else. You are here to unfold. Every desire you honor moves you closer to your design. Every moment of presence reconnects you to peace. Every act of love reminds you who you truly are. There is nothing missing. There is nothing broken. There is only growth. And here is your invitation. For the next 30 days, follow one spark of joy each day. Choose one response rooted in love. Express one idea you would normally hold back. Take one step toward something that excites you. Not because you have to, but because you get to. You are life in motion. You are awareness evolving. You are purpose unfolding. Walk forward gently. Speak kindly to yourself. Act boldly when called. Trust the design. And remember, you are here on purpose. Now go live like it.